Did you know, in ancient Greek mythology, Charon, the ferryman of the underworld, does not ferry everybody to Hades? Hi, if you're new here, my name is Lady Aria. I am a Hellenic polytheist, chthonic practitioner, and King Hades devotee. And I love making videos explaining the underworld's functions and King Hades. So if you like what I post here, don't forget to like and follow. You can always keep up with me. Alright, so through ancient Greek mythology and ancient Greek tradition, we know that Charon, the ferryman to the entrance of the underworld, carries souls to Hades after they pass on. But did you know he doesn't take everybody? And that was to have opal coins be present to pay the fee to Charon so that he can take them over the banks. If not, unfortunately, the souls would have to wait for over 100 years. Now, why is that? So this could be explained in multiple ways as to why this occurred. The ancient Greeks had a very specific way of doing funerary rites that would take up to at least 3 days. And they would spend these 3 days going forth about honoring the passed on with family members, preparing the body with oils and bandages, funerary rites such as calling upon psychopomps like Hermes, Hecate, chthonic deities like Hades and Persephone. That is for the full version. Now, depending on how much time somebody had to get a body into the ground as soon as possible, there were some modifications in certain instances. I can make a totally different video on that. But the main goal was to have the body properly prepared to be brought to cremation or the burial. And one of the practices that the ancient Greeks would do to a body was to put 2 opal coins on the body's eyes or under their tongue, and this would be representation of payment to Charon, the ferryman to the underworld. The Greeks tended to take this a little bit literal, and it is still practiced today amongst chthonic practitioners. Some of us still do practice it today. Let's say someone unfortunately did not have a proper burial. They would be considered a restless spirit amongst Greek tradition. And the punishment, quote unquote, for that would be basically that they would have to remain on the shores of Styx for 100 years. They are not able to cross with Charon. Now, side note, in some literary texts, this is actually the river Acronon, which is more of like an entry river into the cave that leads to the underworld. Sometimes Styx and Acronon get a little bit interchangeable with this, but that's neither here or there. I thought it would be a good thing to brush up on. But anyway, why would 100 years be suitable for the restless spirits to sit on the shores of? So as far as research, it's said that since it is the entrance to the underworld, it sits on the border between this world and the next, and that the restless dead are able to haunt the physical plane. There's that. They would always be by their loved ones or haunt the people that they knew in their previous life. When they go through Hades, they go through the different rivers that makes them forget their previous life, basically, what we see with the river Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, and the river Coxus, the river of wailing, where souls have to kind of like try to forgive, forget, and move on so they can have a quote-unquote purification process so that could prepare their soul for the next stage. So there's that, and also it could be up to interpretation that 100 years is the average, give or take, natural lifespan of a human is. So it could be kind of like your punishment is to wait a whole human life, a bit of a delay, which could also make sense. But again, it is not permanent. But yeah, I hope that was interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you like more, be sure to follow and like again. And thank you.